Hey, I'm Scott and I'm an American in Bangkok. You know, a couple of videos back, a guy wrote me, his name was Bill. He said he's under 50. What's the best way to move to Thailand? And I went in, I gave him the video, I answered his questions the best that I could, and I got a message from him, I guess yesterday, and it says, and you know, it's interesting to me, but it's kind of telling how people think, and I'll get into that in a minute. But he wrote to me, "Hey Scott, as I am planning on trailing, I think he's trying a life in Thailand. In order to support my lifestyle, do you recommend creating a YouTube blog and providing people insight of the life and times in Asia? If so, what is the potential revenue for a startup as a form of passive income? For displaying 1 to 2 video clips per week, how does YouTube pay its bloggers? Thanks." What I wrote is, I recommend you find a job. I think you're going to come, if you think you're going to come here, start a blog and a YouTube channel, and make enough to support your lifestyle, even a dirt cheap one, you are sadly mistaken. Then he wrote back to me. I'm just going to read this. "Really, as there are many expats on YouTube having this form of lifestyle, as jobs are scarce for the expat, the option is doing a TEFL course and teaching English or buying a business. Bill, it seems like you're looking for any way to live here. If that's what you want, teach English. Personally, I think it sucks, and in most cases the money is shit, but that's up to you. A couple of things that I'm not going to say anymore because I've given a lot of information to this guy, and now it's starting to get to the point where I'm spending a fair amount of my time. And if I did that with everyone that asked me questions, I wouldn't have any time for myself. And you know what? I'm selfish like that. I like time for myself sometimes and for my family. If you think making a video or 2 a week and having a blog is how many people here are earning a living, you're asking for a huge letdown. Even if you were skilled, and by skilled I mean at making videos, at being an online presence, and you knew what you were doing in this area, which you don't, you would be lucky to make a couple $100s a month. Okay? I don't think, well, at least in my case, I didn't set out and say, I'm gonna make it big on YouTube. I'm gonna be a YouTube star. I'm gonna be a blogger. I'm gonna do this. I never set out to do that. I just was bored, and I started making videos. What I think is that for most people, and I would say not many people can be Jenna Marbles or PewDiePie or Nigga Higga or any of these kind of guys who are making substantial amounts of money. I don't think very many people, the percentage, it's kind of like boxing, which is, I compare things to boxing quite often, but, you know, anybody can box. Anybody can train or try to box, but the number of people who make it are few. And the number of people who actually get rich from it, the percentage is so low that you just, I think coming here with thinking, okay, well, I'm going to give myself 6 months and I'm going to make it. I just don't think it's going to happen. Now, I also say, what is it that you have to offer? You moved to Thailand. Big deal. And I'm completely serious about this. There are many people in the world that have lived in Thailand or lived in other countries, and just that alone is not going to make you say $1,000 or $2,000 a month, and you know, from your blog or whatever. It's just not going to happen. You really have to find a niche, and I think that to rely on that is the wrong way to approach it. I wrote to him also that I don't remember if he had experienced life in Thailand, but I don't think he did. But if you haven't, you're asking for trouble, and at the very least, a ton of headaches if you think you're just going to buy a condo or start a business, get your visa, and live happily ever after. Sorry, but these are the truths, at least the way that I see it, which is, you know, you're asking me, so I'm giving you my truths. It's not as easy as when I came here. You're 6 years away. He's 44. He's 6 years away from the retirement age, and you know, if it was so easy, people would be living wherever they wanted in the world, and they'd be prospering. And it's not easy. I mean, that's the bottom line. You know, you got to work at it, and in some cases, guys make it, and they make it, and they live very well. And some cases, guys scrape by. That's why, you know, I get people telling me all the time, "Oh, I can live in and be comfortable for $500 a month in Thailand." Okay, then live here. That's fine. But for me and for many other people, a lot of the people I know, and they're not rich by any means. They laugh at the idea that you can live well off of $500 a month. Now, if you're a young guy and you're single, and you don't know how long you're going to be staying here, and you're just having some fun, okay, fine. Of course you can. But if you want to progress in your life, you want to build up a savings, some kind of substantial savings, you want to have nice furniture, a nice house, a nice place to live, or whatever, it's not going to happen from making $500 a month. But okay, so I put, you know, I don't rely on my money, whatever money it is that I make from my blog and my website and stuff. The money that I make comes from several different places, but also the thing is that you know, I had a little bit of an advantage when I came onto YouTube and started a blog. The reason was because I had followers from boxing, people who knew me as the guy in Thailand who covered boxing in Asia. I used to be the editor of a website, Boxing in Asia, and I had some following. I don't want to say a large following or anything like that. I mean, a fair amount of people knew me, and a fair number of people in boxing, they probably still remember me. Okay, I still get people writing me and asking me to manage them and to can I get them fights here in Thailand and that kind of thing, and I don't really want anything to do with it. So the other thing is that, you know, I've been here for a long time. Now, that's not to say that it's absolutely necessary to be here a long time in order to have a successful YouTube channel or blog. I'm not saying that, but what I wrote was get a job, and if that means teaching English, then go ahead. Get your TEFL, start teaching English, get set in your ways here, get set in your lifestyle, figure out some other ways to earn a living while you have an income, while you have a salary from teaching English. And then if you get to the point where you don't need that anymore, then you can quit your job and do whatever. To me, that's the smart way to do it. But like you said, jobs here in Thailand are scarce. Not easy to find a job, especially if you don't have a real specialized skill. Either that, or you're retired and you have a chunk of money in the bank, or you're married to a Thai. So that's my suggestion. You know, get the TEFL. Maybe bring over 10 grand. Get 10 grand, buy your ticket, get the TEFL course, and then use the rest of the money and give yourself 6 months. And I believe by the time you finish your TEFL course, within a month after you finish that, you should have a job, and at least that covers your nut. That you've got your expenses covered, and then you can do whatever you want. So those are the harsh realities as I see them. Anyway, until next time, I'm Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok. Chok di la jerkin.